This is Weird663, and this is 7 Days to Die, Day 3. Alright, let's turn around towards the cardboard box. Let's begin crafting a secured storage chest. We're going to go ahead and drink some water, and then we're going to go ahead and put everything we have in our inventory inside the storage chest, and then empty everything out of the cardboard box into the storage chest. Alright, the only things you need to keep on you right now is the clay, the iron, the plant fibers, the small stone, wood, all but one piece of meat, all of your eggs, your shovel, your stone axe, your spikes, and your torches. Now let's turn around and head back to the campfire and create as many bacon and eggs as you can. Now whatever leftover eggs you have, go ahead and put those back in the chest. Now begin organizing your tool belt for easier access. Always remember to try to keep at least one stone axe extra inside your inventory, so you don't have to worry about crafting time. Now since I screwed up the last time and I forgot to take out this overhead on the stairs, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now a few of our bacon and eggs should be finished, so let's go ahead and eat about 3 bacon and eggs. You want to get about as full as you can, preferably about a 92. Now I'm going to head downstairs to the second floor. When I was scavenging earlier, I noticed that I had a cowboy hat with a -10 on it, so I'm going to go ahead and equip that. Now let's head downstairs to the back door. Alright, before we go outside, let's go ahead and craft a total of about 90 wooden spikes. For me, that's going to be 61 additional wooden spikes. Now since we're going to need about 175 to 200 in clay, let's go ahead and start digging that up right about now. Now we can go ahead and start farming for our iron. We need roughly between 175 to 200 of the iron as well. Now let's look on the side of the farmhouse. Usually you can find a patch of coal on the side of the farmhouse. If you don't find a patch of coal on the side of the farmhouse, it's probably because it's at the entrance of the cornfield on your way in. If that's where it's at, go ahead and run back and collect it from there too. Once you've collected all of your items, now begin heading inside the farmhouse and go down to the forge. Once inside the forge, go ahead and place all of your clay and all of your iron and about 20 to 25 minutes worth of coal, and then go ahead and turn it on. Now let's begin making about a total of 50 torches. For me, that'll be 49 more torches. While we wait for the clay and the iron to smelt, let's go ahead and lighten up the place by placing the torches around the house. Once you're finished placing the torches up, let's go ahead and place everything inside the chest except for your wooden spikes and your wood. Now let's make our way back down to the forge. Now that we've smelted down enough clay and iron, we're able to make forged iron. Let's go ahead and make about 10 of those right now. Once you have about 5 forged irons crafted, go ahead and quickly make an iron fire axe. As soon as the other 5 are done crafting, begin making a iron pickaxe. Now open up the forge, and as soon as you're able to craft 25 more forged iron, begin doing so. Alright, let's go ahead and head upstairs, and if we have any wrenches, let's go ahead and pick up the wrench. And where you get the wrench, go ahead and put the wood in its place. Now let's go ahead and make our way out the front door. Now be careful, sometimes when you walk out the front door, you may have a zombie on your porch, like I have. Just be careful and walk past it, because we don't really want to kill the zombie right now. It's no issue at this moment. What we're going to do is we're going to keep heading south till we get to the bridge right over by the working stiff. Now if you have anything that you can scavenge right there at the bridge, go ahead and do so. I have a car, so I'm going to go ahead and scavenge this car. Now begin heading over the bridge towards the working stiff. Now what you want to do is begin laying spikes down. You want to lay anywhere between 5 and 6 spikes on the ground. You also want to remember you want to make at least 3 or 4 rows of these spikes. This will help you kill these zombies pretty easy and let you be able to keep the advantage of knowing what's going on in your surroundings. Now let's go ahead and start attracting some zombies and take them back to the wooden spikes. Now remember, the object here is you don't really care what you get off of the zombies. It's all about building up your scavenging off of every zombie. Now to go ahead and start building up our scavenging a little bit more, there's a couple of nearby cars. Let's go ahead and scavenge those nearby cars. Now since we want to have a lot of room for the working stiff, we want to make sure we empty out most of the inventory that we don't really need. So go ahead and do that inside one of the cars. Alright, let's go ahead and begin making our way to the working stiff. Now remember, there's going to be items you can scavenge in front of the working stiff, behind the working stiff, and on top of the working stiff. So let's go ahead and start scavenging those items now. Now we're ready to go ahead and go inside the working stiff and begin scavenging all the items there. Try to remember to loot everything you can inside the working stiff before actually opening up the boxes. Unfortunately, to help speed up the video, I don't really do that, but you'll have a better chance of raising your scavenging up and getting better items if you do so. Now remember, as you go through, look for brass and lead items. If you end up having any of these, go ahead and scrap them down. Now also remember, if you come across any weapons, if they're better than yours, go ahead and hold on to them. But if they're not better than yours, go ahead and scrap them. Since we're banging on these doors, we're making a lot of loud noises. Well, since we're making a lot of loud noises, it's attracting zombies. You can tell. So if you want to sit there and help prevent, the zombies from breaking in and coming after you, a good thing to do is to go ahead and crouch while you loot things. Now let's exit the working stiff and begin making our way to the right. You're going to pass up the cards that you looted earlier, and you're going to keep going in this direction. Alright, earlier we went ahead and went inside one of the cars and dropped off a bunch of items. If you need to do so now, go ahead and do that also, as well as go ahead and scrap any items that you need to open up room for inventory space. Alright, remember to scavenge everything you come across because it's very important to try to build up your scavenging. Since we want to try to sit there and conserve on our spikes so we're not wasting any, it's a good idea not to attack every zombie you come across. Remember, time isn't on your side throughout the day. So, what you want to do is you want to try to sneak into this house and try to scavenge everything around the house and in the house. Alright, we came across a clawhammer schematic early in the game. This is what we want. Alright, we're still going to go ahead and scavenge everything along the way and keep heading in the same direction once you leave the house. Alright, now we're at the Crack-A-Book store. We want to lay about 5 to 6 spikes down and about 5 or 6 rows for each spike. Now, you want to remember we're at the Crack-A-Book store and there's going to be a lot of zombies, so we're going to actually add a little bit more spikes down only because there's going to be a lot more zombies coming out of the woodworks in this area. Once you lay down the last spike, go ahead and start attracting those zombies by going all the way up to them. Bring them all back to the spikes, and remember, you want to let the spikes do all the work, and you want to sit there and remember to try to scavenge as much as you can, Once you've made sure the last zombie is killed and you're sure that it's safe, let's go ahead and enter into that Crack-A-Book store. But before we go in the Crack-A-Book store, just like the working stiff, we want to scavenge everything on the outside and around it and go to the roof. Now it's time to make our way inside the Crack-A-Book store and scavenge everything we can. Alright, let's go ahead and exit the Cracker Bookstore and begin making our way back. Remember, it's a good thing to always try to get done by at least 17 to 1800 hours. It gives you enough time to collect any items that you need along the way back for making a cement mixer. Now, one thing you also want to remember is we did gather a lot of items inside the Cracker Book, but the one thing that you want to look for is a claw hammer and a wrench schematic. Those will be the best things to actually have early on in the game. Alright, you need one spring. Remember, you can get those off of beds. Thank God you're going to run past 3 houses, so you can go ahead and use your wrench on any one of the beds that you come across. Remember, on the way here, we passed up several cars. Remember, you can use your wrench on the cars to try to get yourself an engine. Last but not least, you need short iron pipes. Short iron pipes are not that hard to come across. You can also get those off of everything you're able to scrap. So whatever you can actually use your wrench on, you're going to get short iron pipes on. Alright, one helpful thing you always want to do is remember your inventory. As you may look on the screen, you will see that I really don't pay attention that my inventory was absolutely full. So I'm going to go ahead and wrench this car, and as I wrench this car, it turns out that it does show that I am receiving items, but I don't find out until I start to walk away that the gas wasn't going into my inventory. Instead, it was going all over the ground. So you want to make sure that you don't create this mistake, and always make sure you pay attention to your inventory. Alright, as you pay attention above my stamina bar, you'll see a little beer mug. Turns out that I drank beer just a few moments ago, and what it does is it actually gives you pretty much infinite stamina for 1 in-gaming hour. So it is kind of good every once in a while to drink a beer. Alright, I'm going to go inside this house and show you just how easy it is to go ahead and use a wrench on the oven to be able to get a scrap cable. Now remember, you use a get one once it's about halfway destroyed. Now let's begin making our way back to our base. Quickly make yourself inside your base and begin going down to your forge. Now quickly grab those forged irons from the forge. Now if you were lucky enough to find the caliber, the anvil, or the tool and die set, now's a good time to go ahead and start putting those in the forge. Now let's quickly make our way back up to the attic. Now let's go ahead and clear out our inventory by placing some items in the chest. Alright, let's go ahead and head back downstairs to the forge. Alright, since I was lucky enough to go ahead and find a claw hammer schematic, I'm going to go ahead and make me a claw hammer. But in doing so, it's going to cost me some forged iron. So I'm going to actually go ahead and replenish that forged iron and craft some more. The claw hammer has a good lengthy timer to actually craft an item, so let's go ahead and begin crafting that right now. Alright, now would be a good time to go ahead and go outside and start chopping down some trees for some more wood. Once you have about close to 1200 in wood, head back inside the house. Now since I actually remember putting wood inside the sink earlier, I'm going to go ahead and grab that wood to add to my collection. Now we got our claw hammer and our wood, so let's begin upgrading our house all the way to level 20 in construction. As soon as you hit the level 20 mark, begin going to your skills and buying for 10 points the concrete mixing. Now let's make our way back to the basement and begin making our mixer. Don't forget, if you're still waiting on forged iron to be made, you'll have to take it out of the forge before you can make the mixer. Alright, day 3. We were able to achieve getting our construction up to level 20. buying the cement mixer, going to the working stiff and the crack-a-book, finding several schematics and items that we needed along the way. I think this is a good run-through. This is Weird663 saying this is the end of 7 Days to Die, Day 3.